Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another Core for Coaches. Thank you for being here. I'm just going to check in on who's here. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I am live. Even though, that's the thing. It's like, I know I'm looking here on StreamYard. Our StreamYard platform says I'm live, but I like to just double check. Why? Because my controller says that I need to do that, which we're going to be talking about today. So welcome again to Core for Coaches, Core for Coaches. Anybody remember what my acronym CORE means or stands for? Yes, I'm going to wait. Let's see. See if my team will chime in. What does Core for Coaches, CORE, even stand for? Core. And then that'll give me a chance to make sure I'm live. Yes. Core. Core for Coaches. Yes, I'm not starting until I get that. Okay, I'll let you chew on that for a while, but I want you to put in the chat. Malik should definitely know. Hello, he helped me create it. And so, Malik, actually, if you could put the acronym CORE here, Core for Coaches, and what it stands for, because I do want to pause just for a moment to underscore core, and why I continue to do this. So yes, Anaya, thank you so much. So Core for Coaches, CORE, the acronym CORE, actually stands for Collaborative Opportunities Rising for Everyone. This is rising in ASL. Collaborative Opportunities Rising for Everyone. And I wanted to pause just before getting into our topic today to really underscore CORE. CORE is one of my highest values. What specifically in CORE? Collaborative Opportunities Rising for Everyone. And it is that word right there, collaborative. I know that we here in the grand country of the United States of America, we're going through some tough shifts. I did put the F in there, right? We're going through some tough shifts. And those tough shifts and changes and challenges are impacting people, communities, even outside of the US. So I'm going to say we all are going through some shifts. And of course, other countries are experiencing major shifts as well. And one of the things that I have found to be so supportive of me as a successful coach, as a team coach, as a mentor coach, as a coach trainer, as an executive coach, has been that word right there. Collaboration. I have the wonderful blessing to have mentored, have trained, still mentoring and training coaches to the tune of well over 1,000 coaches. And I'm grateful for that. And the thing that I keep hearing consistently from coaches, from leaders, from other types of entrepreneurs is around the struggle of being an entrepreneur, especially at such a time as this. And I will say to you what I offer to them. I always ask, what types of collaborations are underway for you right now? Who are you collaborating with right now around this? And typically, what do you think I get back as a response when I ask them, hey, tell me about the collaborations you're involved in? Tell me how you're collaborating in your business. What do you think I hear back? I'm going to give you a moment to chime in. What do you think I hear back? Hello, Cache. Good to see you. What do you all think I hear back when I ask about collaborations? Yes, it's like I can hear crickets chirping. Typically, what I hear is, what collaborations? What collaborations? Yes, also, thank you, Malik. Sometimes I hear collaboration is hard to do. Or I don't even know, who do I collaborate with? Like, what do you mean collaborations? I also hear like, well, what do I have to offer somebody else, another entrepreneur, another coach? And I just want to encourage you strongly encourage you to seek support. Support. As one of my favorite influencers, Elaine Fluker, says, support is sexy. Support is sexy. Just thinking about it that way was a major mindset shift for me around asking for support. I want to encourage you to collaborate, get in community with other coaches, with other entrepreneurs, with other people who do what you do and other people who don't do what you do. Collaboration is key. So support is sexy. I have to think of another one for, I'm going to say collaboration is sexy too. That's what I'll say. Support is sexy. Collaboration is even sexier. And I actually already see here in the comments some of the folks that I'm collaborating with, and I'm so grateful. So that is my commercial for collaboration. Consider we could go so much further together. I'm telling you, that collaborative mindset was a game changer for me and my businesses. Game changer. And it's not that I didn't want to collaborate. It wasn't on my screen, just like a lot of these coaches and a lot of these entrepreneurs say to me. It just wasn't on my screen. I didn't even think to do that. And so I want to encourage you to think about, who could I collaborate with? Who could I collaborate with to support this project? Who could I collaborate with to get more clients? Who could I collaborate with to increase my visibility on social media? I'm just thinking about all the things I've been asked about. Who could I collaborate with? And if you stay till the end, I'm going to share something very, very special with you around how we are offering a very special opportunity to collaborate. Okay, so you stay to the end. I'll give you that gift, that treat. So, all right, hello, good to see you all. Okay, Cache says, hey y'all, hello, hey y'all back. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I am Sophia Casey. I am a master certified coach. I slow down on purpose when I say master certified coach, because the MCC credential is the highest credential in the coaching industry. And I am so proud. And I shout it from the rooftops unapologetically. I'm grateful to be a master certified coach in MCC under the International Coaching Federation, ICF. And to become an MCC, you have to have coached to the tune of no less than 2,500 hours. Yes. Hallelujah. Okay. I'm also so blessed to be Chief Empowerment Officer, the CEO of ICLI Rising, which is our ICF accredited coach training school. We are a level 1 accredited coach training school and a level 2 coach training school. And we are working right now on becoming an ICF level 3 coach training school so that we can support coaches with becoming MCCs. Look at that. So thank you so much for being here. I'll also put in that I am so proud to be the mom of a college student. Yes. Shout out to you, honey. So what are we talking about today? I want to talk about something that we all have in common. Something that we all have in common. What do you think that is? Whenever we're getting ready to stretch outside of our comfort zone and start something new, when we want to increase our visibility, when we want to start a new project or a program, when we start a business, what is something that we all go through that we all have in common? And I'm going to see what you all say. And that is, yes. What we all have in common is that I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Jeff Bezos, Brene Brown, Oprah, who else? Denzel Washington. We all have this in common. And that is the judge. Ooh, will somebody put that in the chat? The judge. The judge. Yes, put that in the chat. That is something that we all have in common. The judge. We judge ourselves, or we open ourselves up to be judged. We sometimes experience the judge as self-doubt. I've heard it called so many things. Put in the chat what you've heard. Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, right? Inner critic. That's usually what I say. The inner critic is always trying to talk in my ear. Inner critic, right? Doubting ourselves. And so I am going to bring to you every single week. We're going to do a 9-week series. Oh my goodness, that's a commitment. Hello. We're going to do a 9-week series on a methodology, if you will, that literally shifted the atmosphere for me. And that is around saboteurs. So I've been having all of these conversations with coaches and all different types of entrepreneurs in all different industry. I've been having conversations with my own executive coaching clients. I've been having conversations with my team coaching clients, and I keep hearing the same types of things coming up for why they're stopping, what's getting in the way, what barriers or circumstances are they allowing to stop their momentum. And I constantly hear as a common thread the self-doubt, imposter syndrome. Do I know enough? Am I good enough? And so I was thinking about how I could be most supportive of you. And then I asked a lot of you how I could be most supportive of you. And I'm grateful that you answered. And I'm answering the call. And that is to support you around getting more awareness around how your saboteurs show up. But even more than that, we're not going to dwell on that a whole lot. Even more so, what do you do about it? What do you do when these saboteurs start to lie to you? Because that's how I feel. They are lying. And I'll get into that in more depth as we go along in this 9-week series. So the number one saboteur, I'm actually going to cover several saboteurs. The number one saboteur, thank you for that heart. The number one saboteur is the judge. The judge, the judge, the judge, the judge. And so every single week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on one specific saboteur. So I said 9 weeks. It's actually going to end up being 10 weeks. You're welcome. It's going to be 10 weeks of us having a conversation around these different saboteurs and how your saboteurs show up for you. So again, how it can show up in business is self-doubt when it comes to naming your prices. Anybody relate? How do you show up when someone says, oh, okay, well, how much do you charge? I hear it constantly from coaches that I work with, coaches that I mentor, entrepreneurs that I support, CEOs that I support through coaching. Their palms start getting sweaty. They start to feel uncomfortable talking about what they charge and around their rate. So self-doubt can show up when naming your costs, your prices, right? It came up for me, even in our coach training school, when I was actually creating our school. I was like, oh my goodness, okay, what do we charge for tuition? You know, I did my market analysis and some research, and still was like, I don't know. So it even came up for me. And the thing about saboteurs that I want you to keep in mind throughout this conversation that we're going to have over the next several weeks, what I want you to keep in mind is that our saboteurs are not bad. They're not bad. A lot of times we want to put things in categories in terms of bad, good, good, bad. Saboteurs are not bad. So I want to preface everything I'm going to bring to you over the next several weeks with saboteurs are not bad. I'm not saying that your saboteurs are bad. What I am offering to you to consider is that they don't need to rule your life. My saboteurs are not bad, but they do not need to lead my life. Saboteurs, this is the way I see it. And I'm sure the creator of this saboteurs work, Shirzad Sharmin, Positive Intelligence, may have a different look or a different spin on it. But the way that I see saboteurs are not bad. Saboteurs actually are just doing their job. The self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, the overthinking, things have to be perfect before I execute and march out on something. All of that, those saboteurs are there to protect us from the unknown. Because the saboteurs, they don't know that, oh, this is something she actually wants to do. She actually wants to create a coaching business. She actually wants to become a credential coach. She actually wants to start a nonprofit. She actually wants these things. So the saboteurs start to crank up their volume when they're scared. When you're scared. And so again, I'm not saying that the saboteurs are bad. I'm saying that our goal is to turn down the volume on them. And sometimes I even talk to my saboteurs. I'm like, okay, you don't need to come now. You don't need to walk into this meeting with me. You don't need to go on the stage with me, right? I am good. I know who I am at my core. I'm good. So again, it can show up. Saboteurs can show up in terms of self-doubt when naming your prices. It can show up as imposter syndrome when you're getting ready to launch a new program. I know, I've heard you. Ready to launch a new program, or you're going to start your own consulting business, or you're going to share your consulting offer, or you're going to share your new coaching package. It can also show up as over questioning. Let me take a deep breath and pause. It can show up as over questioning and overthinking. Well, somebody put that in the chat for me. Over questioning or overthinking. Saboteurs can show up, or self-sabotage can show up as overthinking. And there's a specific saboteur that does that quite well, and that's Stickler, that we'll talk about as we go along. So, of course, over questioning your credentials. Can you imagine? You did all this work. You did all those hours of schooling, education. And if you're a credential coach like me, you spent all those hours coaching people, all those hours getting formally trained in what coaching is and what coaching is not. Yet you doubt. You doubt. So it could show up as over questioning your credentials, whether or not you're ready. It can even show up as questioning your worthiness. Woo! I'm definitely going to take a breather on that. Okay. And I'm going to check in with you, see what you all are saying. Let's see. Cachet says, believe in what you have to offer. Yes. I'm sorry. That was Malik. Malik said that, told me. Cachet said that. Okay. Yes. Believe in what you have to offer. So a lot of times it's easy for us to say to the other person, believe in what you have to offer. Just believe in it. Believe in it. I have it that if the person hasn't done the work to get more awareness around their own saboteurs and how their saboteurs show up, the more challenging it can be for them to accept and receive that I actually have control. I can actually believe in what it is that I have to offer. Okay. Are you all tracking with me? I tell you, you know how I am. I get in these conversations. I can keep on going. Let me just check in. Hi, Coach Carla. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for the heart. Thank you. Yes. Believe in what you have to offer. Yes. Malik says the most common form of self-sabotage is overthinking. This one applies to me very strongly. LOL. Yes. Malik and I have had some great conversations about that. Cachet says, ooh, this is so good. Yes. She says, yes, Lord. Support is very sexy. Absolutely. So I want to offer you some common phrases so that if you hear yourself saying these common phrases or something like these common phrases, I want you to begin to have so much self-awareness that a flag goes off. Like, oh my gosh, that must be one of my saboteurs. That must be one of my saboteurs. So here's some common phrases. Okay. Who am I to do this? Right? You just get this wonderful opportunity, or someone comes to you and they're checking out your services and your products and they're thinking about working with you, and you start to doubt by saying things like, well, who am I to do this? When I started this coach training school, although I had worked in several other coach training schools, big shout out to the wonderful coach training school in Greece. Yes. Shout out to AC. Shout out to ACC. I'm so grateful. I've worked with a number of coach training schools. So I had experience, right, working in coach training schools. However, when the divine gave me the download to go start my own school, here come the inner critic. Here come the saboteurs, right? Because I'm stepping outside my comfort zone, right? Right? Working in a coach training school and owning your own coach training school are two different things. So I was comfortable working for someone else, working on building their dreams, working on making them quite wealthy, very comfortable with that. And now I am being tasked with, asked to step outside of what feels so comfortable and go do something I've never done before. You can only imagine my saboteurs had a field day, had a field day. And they said phrases like that. Well, who am I to do this? Even with all that experience, who am I to do this? Here's another common phrase. I'm not ready. Somebody will put that in the chat for me. I hear that so much. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I got to get that certification. I got to get that certificate. I got to get that PhD first. I'm just not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And if you are a graduate of our coach training school, you know what we say in class. What I say often is, what you actually need to be an effective, a really good coach, you actually walked in the door with. My job as your instructor, my job as your mentor coach, our jobs as your instructors is merely to support you and add some additional tools in your toolbox. And maybe to even have you practice your coaching in front of us so that we can give you feedback around some things that may be in your blind spot. But yet, I still hear, I'm not ready. 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 Okay. Another common phrase. Now I know. Okay, maybe you all haven't said this. Maybe it's those other people. I know you've heard this. What if people think I'm not legit? Or said another way that I commonly hear it said, what will they think? Woo! What will they think? What will they think? If you've ever thought that, got slowed down a little bit, come on, let's be honest. I want you to just put a number 1 in the chat. Okay. You don't even have to say yes, or you don't have to say me. Just put a 1. 1. If you've ever, and if I could put a 1 in the chat, I would fill the chat with ones, because I know I've heard myself say that. Well, what are they going to think? I know I've heard myself say, question, am I ready? Okay, I see some ones. I've heard myself say, well, who am I to do this? I've also heard other people say to me, who do you think you are? What makes you think you can do that? You've never done that before. So I'm telling myself, I'm doubting myself, and then I'm hearing doubt from others. So that volume on my saboteurs is getting cranked up and cranked up and cranked up and cranked up and cranked up. So just before I wrap up, I want to offer you something to consider. Bear with me a moment. See, my team makes me at least keep some notes because they know I would talk all day long about this stuff. I love this work. We do a lot of work around saboteurs and self-doubt and imposter syndrome and turning down the volume on all of that so that you can go be your greatest and highest self. We do a lot of that work in our coach training program. So I want to offer to you that there is another place to come from. There's another place to come from. For today, I'm just going to offer you just one thing to consider. When your self-doubt, your saboteurs, the imposter syndrome, like this inner critic, all that starts to get really loud and the volume starts to turn up and crank up and crank up. I want to encourage you to do something that has been so supportive of me. You ready for it? I want you to get still, to get quiet, to grab a notebook or your tablet, or if you love your remarkable tablet like I do, grab your remarkable tablet, grab a piece of paper, grab a Post-it note. And I want you to start journaling or writing down, reflecting on all that you have accomplished just in this year. Right? I'm not even asking you to go way back. I'm not even asking you to go back to high school and college and all. Just this year. And the list is just for you. I'm not asking you to send it to me. It's just for you. And I want you to just take an accounting and reflect on what you were able to create and who you had to be in order to have what it is you just wrote down. And I want you to bring that energy into our next conversation. Are you in? Gay? Okay, awesome. When I come back next week, I'm going to start sharing about all the very detailed saboteurs, from controller to stickler to victim to hyperachiever to hyper vigilant, avoider. There's so many. Every single week, I'm going to highlight one in particular to support you around cranking down the volume and cranking up the volume on who you know yourself to be at your core. I'm so grateful for you. Be well, be well, be well, be well. I'm going to put in the comments something incredible that we are creating at ICLI Rising. I want you to stay connected with us. You're going to be blown away by the level of support of this new program that we're creating. Can't wait to see you. Ciao. Take great care of each other. Most importantly, take good care of yourself. Ciao for now.